What do you do with all those gel prints and painted papers? It's a common and valid question. Today I'm using some of my paper, heavy packing tape, a pair of scissors, and a brayer to create some fun, usable, giftable, inexpensive, easy pieces of small art. This one got wrinkled in the pull, so I have to avoid that part. But the first thing to do is to choose a part of the paper I like for a bookmark. Then I lay down my tape, brayer it down nice and smooth. A brayer is optional, but if you have one, it creates really good adherence. I trim along one edge of the tape. I've found this is the best way to get things lined up on the back. These are my absolute favorite scissors. I got a pair of pairs when I was working at a nursery school. Both pairs have held up so well through heavy use. They have definitely been put through their paces. Line up the tape along the edge on the back side of the bookmark. I got a little wrinkle, decided to see how well the bookmark would turn out anyway. Brayer it down. As I said, the brayer is ideal for this. Again, use the scissors to trim things up. If you're thinking, why would I want to make a bookmark? I don't read paper books. Well, there are still a lot of people who do. You can also use it in an art journal. Or gift it to an old person like me, I suppose. Next, the same material plus parchment paper to create quick, easy, simple stickers. I'm freehanding this first one, just cutting a simple, fun heart shape. You can use any shape you would like, as long as it's narrow enough to fit on a piece of packing tape. I cut the parchment paper in half because a split back sticker is way easier to get your sticker off the backing. I lined up the straight edges and I placed down a piece of packing tape across the cut and lay my shape on top of it. I then cover that with another piece of packing tape, which holds the sticker together. Brayering it down is a great way, again, to get good adherence, but if you don't have a brayer, that's okay. I cut out the sticker, leaving a little bit of edging, enough that the sticker will stick. I've decided to attach this sticker to the front of one of my art journals. This is a Dilutions journal. I will link this and other materials used in the description. Well, actually, there will be a link to a page on my website with all of the materials and more details about them. Next, I'm going to use a shaped punch. I really need to get more shapes sometime. This one actually a friend gifted to me at a yard sale they were holding. Find an interesting part of the paper, give it a quick punch, and my butterfly ended up flying. Again, you can use anything that's narrower than a strip of packing tape. I've decided to do a long strip of shapes instead of a single shape. So I've cut a strip of parchment paper from a larger sheet. I started to tape the ends down to my desk and then thought, hey, I have a perfect surface that will hold my papers in place. Another off-brand use of my gel plates. I started by laying down my shapes on the tape, as usual. And as I was trying to line them up, in a way, I liked the colors to flow. And they moved around on the slippery surface. And I realized it would also be difficult to get down the top tape without shifting things. I thought of something else. Again, my gel plate is a perfect surface to gently stick things, basically. So I put the non-sticky side of my tape down on my gel plate, which will be the top of my stickers, and laid my butterflies down, face down, on the tape. If you don't have a gel plate, you could also do this by taping the ends of your parchment paper to your work surface and taping some tape down to your work surface. After I had them all lined up, I pulled up the tape and lined it up with my base tape. As you can see, everything pulls right off the gel plate easily. I did use my brayer, but even with the brayer, there is a drawback with using cardstock for stickers. It's not so much a problem with the single shape, but with the multiple shapes, you will see the problem I ran into with the cardstock. I trimmed off the excess edges of parchment paper. As you'll see in the next section of the videos, I used brown parchment paper. I don't use those for stickers because you can't see the sticker as well. I did stickers in one of my workshops not too long ago. This is another Dilutions journal. This is a square one. Their pages are like super extra heavy cardstock. Here you can begin to see the issue I was having. Because of the thickness of the butterflies, even with the brayer, the tape will rise up off the surface around the shapes, which I personally don't find ideal. To overcome this, you could use thinner paper. This cardstock is ideal for the upcoming custom notebook cover, but if you caught last week's snack size tutorial, you know that thinner papers can also work for bookmarks. I loved the way my Galaxy paper bookmarks turned out, one with tissue paper and one with medical exam paper. So you could also give thinner paper a try for stickers that adhere more evenly, or stick to one at a time. My next little project isn't coordinated paper because when I originally filmed this for a reel, I wasn't thinking about all of them coordinating, despite having coordinated stickers with notebooks in the past, as for my workshop. Thinner paper would not work as well for this type of notebook because you don't want the black and white of the mini composition book showing through. You could use any type of notebook. These are a convenient pocket and purse size. I'm using a paper cutter, which isn't a necessity, but it does make creating a nice straight edge to line up with the tape edge of the notebook much easier, especially for someone as bad at cutting straight lines as I am. You'll want your paper to be slightly larger than your cover. I'm covering the front and the back, and I've decided to use the paper with the big black edge for the front. As mentioned, I'm using parchment paper. I'm using the parchment paper to protect the pages of my notebook as well as my work surface. And I have back out my brayer. I'm starting with the back cover, and I have out one of my good glue sticks. It's important to cover both the cover of the notebook and the paper, paying particularly close attention to your edges and corners. The glue on your paper will go over the edges of your notebook, but that's okay. It's better to go too far than not have enough. If you don't have enough, your cover will peel. Make sure the cover of your notebook is fully covered. I really like the Yoo-Hoo glue sticks. I have commonly used the Elmer's washable purple sticks for art journaling videos. They're a good, less expensive alternative, but I haven't found they hold up as well. The brayer, as with the stickers and the bookmarks, gives you a much closer, smoother attachment. Same process for the front cover. If you decide to do any of these projects, I'd love to hear how it goes, or if it gave you an idea to use your paper in a similar way. Likes, shares, and kind, curious, or constructive comments are always welcome. I'll be back with another video on how to use your papers to create jewelry sets. And there will always be more videos about creating papers, painted or gel printed, in part because art is such a big part of my mental health, and I like to encourage others to take time to make art. If you get glue on the binding tape, it's easy to rub off with your finger. It is, of course, important to always recover your glue. Next, as so many projects that require glue or paint, is to let everything totally dry. After everything is totally dry, it's time to trim the cover. And it's much easier for me to cut straight lines along a straight line. I hope you have found this little tutorial useful and it inspires you with some ways to use your paper stash. I hope you're finding time to exercise your creativity in ways you find meaningful. Getting back to my art was such an important part in my mental health recovery and maintenance. If you haven't yet, subscribe. One painless way you can support my channel is if you decide to purchase some of the products I use using my links. You can also check out the artware in my fourth wall shop, my shirts that encourage everyone to take time for art because we are better with art. You'll also see a super thanks button with my videos. It's like a virtual tip jar built into YouTube. And simply watching this video to the end helps YouTube know that it should suggest it for other people. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon. In the meantime, check out one of these.